Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast. So from Studio A in Texas, USA, it's hour number 2 of the All Things Automotive Car Talk Show, In Wheel Time, and we thank you for joining us today. Just ahead, we're going to talk to racer Alex Udell, how he got involved in the sport and what he's piloting today, and we're going to also talk about racing tires and how much they cost, how do they differ, all about that. In our new car showroom is the Chevy Silverado. I'll take you for a ride. And later, our Ram Tracks feature, along with the stories making automotive news headlines this week. All that and more just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Show. Along with Mike Out of This World, Mars down there on his cell phone. He doesn't say much during the show. Yeah, he's kind of ADD.
Yeah, he's chasing down Alex, what he's doing.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Yeah. At least you're not messing up over here like me and don't have any audio ready for us to play.
Well,
but anyway.
Mike's the man in charge. You're the voice of the show. I'm just the sidekick. Like we said last week, you are the Johnny Carson. I am the Ed McMahon.
And
and Gelman over there.
And I am the walrus. All right.
Boop, boop-be-doo.
Yeah, so while you're chasing down Alec Udell, I'm glad that you're chasing him down. Do we need to wait for a little bit, Mars?
Yeah, before we
yes,
go
we
to him,
do.
we might want to get him on the air first.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't do any of that. I have no control over that. That's over there on that side of the office. This is the talent side of the office. This is the garage over here.
Yeah, this is the talent side? I'm glad I'm over on this side because I'd like to
Conrad's trying to
I'd like to spill
stay
some
on
of that
both
talent.
sides.
Spill some of that talent on me.
You know, I wish that you could have been witness to the conversation that we all had before we went on the air today.
That's the subscription to the show. We're going to get paid for that because that goes a little off color sometimes.
A little?
You have to check your age.
Yes, it'll have to be
18 and over.
Actually, 21
21
and
and over.
Yeah, with 18-year-olds now. Some of those are still in high school, like I was.
Well, you were in. That's the hardest 7 years of your life was the 6th grade.
It truly was. So anyway, our show today was supposed to be about road racing, SCCA. We talked to Richard Tomlin. We've talked to John Rawson. We've been down to Daytona. We've done all of that. And we were going to try to move it along to Alex Udell Racing. But, he's racing. He's not into any of this Zoom stuff.
Oh, actually, he is. I follow him on Facebook.
Well, how come he is not on with us?
Well, he's coming on with us.
You think?
Yeah, because he's pretty active on his social media and stuff. We're drawing blanks on him right now.
No, we're not drawing blanks. He's just not on.
He's not answering.
No,
okay.
he's not.
We'll get it figured out. He's a Woodlands, Texas young man who just graduated Clemson and has run in some of the clubs.
We've talked to him before.
We've had him on the show in studio
Yeah.
in the past.
Right.
And quite a successful race car driver, and is now currently driving for Team BMW. So he's driving for the factory BMW team.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So he's really elevated himself. I remember when he was on last time, he wasn't real sure where he was going, and I would say a little coy in saying what was – I imagine this was in the works at the time. And, he's landed a full-time ride with – well, full-time during the COVID is nothing.
Yeah, that's not saying a whole lot right now.
But a full-time ride with BMW.
Speaking of that gives us an opportunity to talk about next week's program that we're going to have live here at this time, this juncture in the day between 10 a.m. and noon Central Time. And we're going to talk to the folks that are really the movers and the shakers, if you will, of the Houston area we're going to talk auto racing, car shows, all of that sort of stuff. So Mars was unable to get one computer working, so now he's taken over another one. And
No, he's got it working. He's just trying to call in all avenues of calling that he can.
Well, it's okay because I thought, if worse comes to worse, we could certainly talk about next week's show. But we're still on this week's show. Mm-hmm. So I brought a little something to the program. This was from Hemmings, another thing.
Hemmings is a good...
I always thought of Hemmings as for old people. the big, thick advertising book of every kind of car. Drill it down. You need parts. You need cars. Whatever it is. No, they got some great stories, and they send stuff on the internet all the time. So I got this. This is the 10 best performance cars of the 1980s.
Yeah, they do a 10 best, 5 best of different genres of the automotive world.
Well, I thought this was interesting because when I think of the 1980s and performance cars,
you don't think of much.
No, that's like oil and water. No,
well,
it doesn't work.
You know, in that,
but it's not true.
I would say a majority of them would be European. But then you got to include the Buick Grand National in there somewhere.
Well, stand by.
Okay.
Stand by.
I'm just giving my best.
Well, just stand by, and then you can join in. You were always one of those that the teacher had to, Conrad, we know your answer. Please sit down and let somebody else answer it, weren't you?
Actually, I was.
I know. I could tell.
Kind of that annoying little snark in the back.
Snark?
Oh, yeah, because I'd usually have something snotty to say as well.
Yeah, and guess what? Nothing has changed.
I still do, right? Yeah, but you can't send me to the principal's office.
No, not yet. Well, I'll find the principal. She's next door, actually.
My high school principal just passed away at 95, John Sarkeesian.
Okay, well, John,
rest in peace.
So, top 10 best performance cars in 1980s, according to Hemmings. The 1983 Volkswagen Golf GTI.
Oh, I would totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Kind of a segment starter of the hot hatch.
Yes, it was, actually. Mm-hmm, yeah. And actually, that car started much earlier, actually in 1976 in Europe, but it didn't come here to the States until 83. Thought that was pretty interesting. The 1984 Ferrari Testarossa. Remember when it came out with the big rakes on the side of it?
Flat 12.
Yeah, well, I thought, wow, that is the cat's meow.
And that kind of started that straking on the sides as it was transferred to all kinds of other cars as well.
Yep, exactly.
And a picture of Farrah Fawcett.
1985 Chevrolet Corvette.
85. Yeah. Well,
that year, Chevy's engineers tweaked the suspension, installed new, more powerful engine, the 5.7-liter small block V8 tune port injection, rated at a whopping 230 horsepower. But at the time, remember, now we're talking 80s, that was big.
You got to remember, that was versus the 1984 Corvette, which had the Crossfire injection on it, which was just a nightmare.
That was
so when they went with tune port on
the Crossfire. I completely forgot about that.
They only made it for I think 2 years, but so that's why I put the tune port on it.
The 1986 Porsche 959.
That 959 was the all-wheel drive version of the Porsche 911 that had about 400 horsepower. It was quite a
444 horsepower from 2.9 liters.
Twin turbo.
Yeah. It was at $227,000 at the time.
And they are super collectible today. Jay Leno has one.
Yeah, I'm sure
in his
he does.
garage.
Okay, here's one for you that I can relate to. The 1987 Chevrolet Camaro IROC Z.
Oh, yeah, with the 5.7.
Remember
TPI?
the IROC Z? God, I wanted one of those. I had a Z28, but it was obviously much earlier than the IROC Z. IROC, International Race of Champions, and I love that series. Yeah. All allegedly identically prepared Camaros run by all of these famous race car drivers across different genres of racing.
Right.
NASCAR,
drag racing, road racing, Formula One, IndyCar.
And I'll never forget the races that they used to have at Daytona in the IROC Z. And they always used to wreck them and blow them up. They weren't their cars. They didn't care. Yeah, and not the 1982 Astro van. It was not on the list. The 1987 Rough CTR.
Of Porsche products. So it was a 911 that Ruff had done some major modifications to.
I'd never heard of such a thing, and I started reading it, and I realized, well, because it was a Porsche. Not that I have anything against Porsche, but I don't know anything about Porsche. I know that they make great cars.
Yes, they do.
I've driven a Porsche at one time in my life many years ago, and it handled like it was on rails. 1987 Ford 5.0 Mustang.
Well, that's the Fox body. That's the Mustang of choice by so many people back in the day and still today because it's such a lightweight car that you could put a ton of power down.
So the 5-liter debuted in 1979. And but really, it wasn't until 1987 that it really got its act together.
Well, I think it's because the fuel injection system, they finally got it
Well, and they
figured
gave
out.
it an extensive
Right.
facelift in 87, and yeah. So 1987 BMW M5.
Okay. That I
That was just when AMG was starting to work, starting to do dirty work.
and BMW's M series was always their performance platform.
Correct, the M5. 1987 Ferrari F40.
Oh well, F40, of course, yeah, but they didn't make very many of those, and that is basically a pure race car. And there's a couple of them here in town because I see them out at the meets. A friend of mine, Grady, actually owns one, and he's he's the president of the Ferrari Club here in town, or was the past president.
At the
of Ferrari
time,
Club
it
here
was
in town.
priced at $400,000.
Oh, it's easily $1 million car today.
A twin turbocharged 2.9 liter dual overhead cam V8 making 478 horsepower at 7,000 RPM.
Think about that, though.
The car weighed only 3,000 pounds.
470 horsepower, and today, what, the Hellcat's 707?
I know, but
the
this is
Demon's
1980s.
940. Yeah, how the advancement of today's cars has as far surpassed the 80s.
And finally, what you brought up, the 1987 Buick Grand National GNX.
And GNX was the advancement of the Grand National. So the Grand National was a 3.8-liter turbocharged V6 that Buick put in their Regal body platform.
Only 547 of them were built. They cost about $30,000 back in the day, packed with 276 horsepower, and were low 13-second cars at the drag strip.
A V6, and it was actually faster than the Corvette at the time.
Yeah, and prior to that, just the regular Grand National, it went from 200 to 235 horsepower.
And the company that Buick had contracted to build the Grand National GNX was McLaren.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. McLaren did the engine modifications. They did some of the body and suspension modifications as well. One of the coolest things about that engine was the turbocharger had a ceramic impeller as opposed to a metal impeller, which meant it was much lighter and it would spool up faster, so that power and torque happened at a lower RPM in a turbocharged car than it did in the normal Grand National. So very interesting. Yeah, McLaren was the company that they helped boost that.
Well, all of that 1980 stuff is, to me, today, kind of a blur.
Yeah, kind of a blur, but it really wasn't at the time.
Well, as far as cars are concerned.
Yeah, you kind of went from the early 70s, and then things kind of went down.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
And my life, I don't even remember any of that. Just saying.
It all went up in smoke.
Yeah. Okay.
But I would say pretty much everything you mentioned on that list, car people know those cars, and I would say to a large degree, most all of that would be considered collectibles as well.
Some of it.
Yeah, even though in the 80s there wasn't a lot of passion for cars, those cars were unique in the 80s.
Well, it's all we
everything else
had
was
at
so
the
gutless,
time.
right.
And remember, we were coming out of the 70s when horsepower in 1970 went from up here to nothing down on the floor.
Well, that's when they went from a gross rating to a net rating.
They also got all of the gas mileage crunch that we went through.
Smog
controls, all of that.
You went from 11, 12 to 1 compression to 8.5 to 1 compression in 1 year.
And what did Don Armstrong do? 1977 went out, actually 76, bought a brand new Corvette that had no horsepower.
Timing.
But it sure looked pretty.
Timing, it's all in the timing.
And it was an L82 Corvette, and I think that the horsepower on it was rated at like 175.
175, 180.
And I thought, wow, man, look at me.
And today they've got, 4 cylinders that are putting out 300 horsepower.
By the way, I got a chance to ride in the new C8 Corvette. I saw Craig this week.
Oh,
Did
okay.
you?
And I told you that he bought one.
Yeah.
And so I got a chance to ride in one. And, when you're inside one, it's not much different than mine. I mean, it's a 2-seat sports car, except when you turn around and you look behind you and there's the motor, you're going, oh, there's the motor.
Yeah, let me check the oil while I'm back here.
And if you ever get to see one, I want you to look at the way that they did the glass, because clearly you have to have a rear view mirror, although it doesn't use the actual mirror. When you put it in reverse,
Cameras.
a camera comes up on the rear view mirror. But you look back there with your eyes, and you see through a glass, and then you see the motor down below, and then there's the glass on the actual body in the back.
And the top of the spoiler, because you really can't see much else besides the spoiler.
Actually, you don't see the spoiler that much.
Okay.
But what you notice on the outside of the Corvette, if you're looking in from the outside, are vents back there for the engine heat to get out. Well, what happens when it rains? They've got this stuff arranged in such a way you can see right straight down, right into the engine. But it's got little grooves and things like that, so it channels the water down, lets it go down on either side of the engine, down past the exhaust. Of course, when you're rolling, everything's going over the top.
Well, they'd have to do that, otherwise inside your car would fog up.
I know, but you would never do that in a regular street car with the front engine.
I haven't been in a new Corvette, but I've looked at them. I'm not real sure I could get in and out of one without rolling off.
Well, actually, Craig and I both commented on the fact that it's got a lot wider sill,
right.
and I have to put my butt way in there to get in because it's got a lighter.
Well, yours is a skinnier butt than mine, but that's beside the point.
It is beside the point. You have to scoot.
But the
it
other
way
thing
in.
is, I really love the way they did like this fighter cockpit look for the driver's seating position, the way that the dash and that whole array of buttons run down that center console.
And that, by the way, that center buttons, I didn't know this, but it's divided into two. They're both identical. So you got one for the passenger side, one for the driver's side.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. And it basically controls
the
AC. That's what all that line of buttons is. One for my side, one for his side.
Yeah, you're inside a car the size of a teacup, but the passenger has their own HVAC controls.
But I will say this: what a kick butt car
Did he take it out and show you, have some fun with it?
Yeah. I mean, not crazy, but and it doesn't have a gobs of horsepower. It's got 500 horsepower.
Yeah, that's not gobs of horsepower. We were just talking about these cars from 1987. That 400 plus horsepower was a wowee thing.
No, but you can tell that this car is ready for a ginormous up in horsepower.
And that's coming.
And it's coming in the Z06. Hey, be sure and stay in touch with us all week long by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and through InWheelTime.com. Each and every week, we invite you to join us for our live 2-hour show, 10 to noon Central. We're going to have more of In Wheel Time and a jam-packed event calendar coming up right after this quick break.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
This is Houston's most in-depth car show, In Wheel Time, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and InWheelTime.com. But podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. And if that's not enough, well, you need to get a life, I guess. Okay, time now for this hour's new car showroom. In today's new car showroom is the 2020 Chevy Silverado. Comes in no fewer than 8, count them, 8 trim levels. WT, which stands for work truck, that's the base. Then it goes up from there. Custom Trail Boss, LT, RST, LT Trail Boss, LTZ, and High Country. I had the RST two-wheel drive. This is considered a standard pickup truck, or what we like to call in the business a half-ton. How many passengers? Seats 5 for most of us, but you can get a bench in front in the work truck. Exterior changes from last model year. It was new last year. Comes in 3 cabs and 3 bed lengths. And my partners over here keep fooling with their microphones and are killing me. Exterior changes, as I mentioned, 3 cabs and 3 bed lengths, new last year. Exterior features, masked headlights. I don't know if you understand that, but it's one of these kind of things with the headlights, that thing that comes around in the headlight. Do you like it? You may. I'm not a big fan. It has these gills grills go from work truck black to elegant chrome, and that really kind of defines all the different trim levels. Leading edge ranges from front end fender gills for airflow that Conrad and I looked at and go, what? What I liked about it, rear bumper front footsteps. I know that sounds stupid, but it sure does make it nice trying to get into the bed of the truck with handholds up on the top of the bed. What could use improvement? It's got an odd front fender crease that kind of dips below the side view mirror that I just have a issue trying to wrap my mind around it. I mean, a lot of people like it. It's a personal choice kind of thing. Interior highlights include dual passenger side glove boxes. Dual passenger side glove boxes. Attractive cloth seats. Ours had the leather. Infotainment system worked well. Dash design seemed a bit dated for a 2-year-old truck. Cargo and trunk room, as I mentioned before, 3 bed lengths. What I liked about the interior was the comfortable and rugged front seats. I know I've got your microphone turned off because, y'all can't stop fooling with your microphones down there. What could use improvement? I am the school teacher here on this particular. Let me see your hand. Hold your hand out. Shame, shame, shame. What could use improvement? I would like to see some compartmentalization underneath the rear seat for storage. What? No? No. I'm doing this by myself. 5.3 liter V8. It also has an available all-new diesel. They also have a turbocharged 4-cylinder. They also have a V6, and they have a 6.2 liter V8. So pick your poison when it comes to engine size and horsepower. 355 horsepower for my 5.3 liter, 383 pound-feet of torque, 9,400 pound tow rating. It'll haul 1,710 pounds. 17 miles per gallon city, 23 highway for a combined of 19. That's for the V8. I got 19.6 over 260. That's 262.6 miles. What I liked about it, all of the available engine combinations. What could use improvement? Nothing. Ride and handling, it's an unloaded truck, not towing anything, so you can just imagine the ride. But it's a truck. That's what it's for. Pricing, $41,200. That's the base trim. As prices tested, $51,890. If you want to get into the base model work truck stripper, it only costs you $22,007. Competitors, Ram starts at $27,048, Ford $28,048, and the Tundra $33,726. And that's the review of the Chevy Silverado Crew RST 2-wheel drive. I turned your microphone on.
Great. Good job.
But it was actually a gorgeous color blue.
It was. I love the color.
I mean, really a very, very good looking car. But I understand what you're talking about the way that fender crease, door crease that passes underneath the mirror, kind of
shoulder line.
Yeah, it draws your eye, but it's odd. It isn't ugly. It's just different.
Yeah, and I don't mind different. I got that because I'm different.
But it draws your eye, and there's other things that are quite good looking about the truck that it shouldn't draw your eye to that.
Right.
The other thing Chevrolet did, which again I find odd, is how they have raised all the badging up as high as it can be on the fender line.
Correct.
A lot of times the badging would be on the bottom third of the fender,
right,
or on the bottom of the door or something
right.
like that.
Yeah. Now it's all like almost right up at eye level.
Makes it all look makes like the top of the truck be real short and the bottom is long. It's right. like a long-legged woman. They're all legs. It's all.
I have to ask. At what point do they stop growing the size of a half-ton pickup truck? This thing is big, man.
I don't think it'll fit in a garage.
No, it won't.
It won't fit in mine.
No, it
now
won't.
You got just a standard double-car garage.
Yeah, no, it won't. I guarantee you. All right. Why don't we do the events calendar?
Well, again, on the events, a couple of things that are coming up, and that is next Saturday is going to be Freddy's Steakburger monthly cruise-in at where is it at? In Magnolia, at the Freddy's Steakburger in Magnolia.
Have I ever been to a Freddy's Steakburger? I don't think I have.
Well, there's actually one just down here on 59 that they do one. There's one in Katy, and it's all Showplace classics. And Kerry Kirkley.
But what kind of burgers do they have there?
Kind of a what was the other steak place? Steak and Shake. That kind of a burger. It's kind of a real high grade meat that they start off as a ball and then they flatten it out.
Is it beef?
Yeah, it's beef. Is it beef? It's goat. It's roadkill.
Have you been to one of these Freddy's?
Oh yeah, the one up by Eldridge is where they do a Sunday night. He does a Sunday night cruise in, and I go to that quite a bit. They're also going to, there's going to be out at Traders Village next weekend is the Father's Day Out car show at Traders Village. And they do that every year. They're asking for spacing between the cars as you come out and bring your vehicle. And then the Costco in Richmond on Richmond Avenue at 3836. They're going to do a Father's Day cruise as well. That's going to meet up at 8:45 a.m.
What day?
That's Sunday next on the 20th.
On Father's Day.
On Father's Day, correct.
Okay.
And then on Saturday the 20th. There's going to be a Father's Day weekend show at Chambers Town Center in Baytown on the corner of I-10 and 146, and that's going to be a judged show. I think there's 36 categories. It's like $25 to get your car in, and they're going to have a judge show. Pretty cool. Lots of stuff coming up, lots of stuff to go do.
I'm kind of waiting to hear from Stan.
And it's all around the city. Well, I'm kind of waiting for you to call Stan and find out because I can't wait to get back to Tailpipes and Tacos. And we've had a number of folks have reached out to us through social media asking us what the status is. And we're like, we don't know just yet.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll call him and figure it out. Okay. If you got a question or comment, shoot us an email, info@nwheeltime.com. Ever wonder what makes race tires different? Why can't you run them on the street? Maybe you can. We got that and more coming up next on the In Wheel Time Car Show. Texas Truck Work. Hey, thanks for checking us out. Don Armstrong saying be sure and join us live every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon Central Time on YouTube, Facebook, and InWheelTime.com. Our podcasts are also available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. We'll see you next time.